Okay, Alex, what is the difference between renewing a mortgage and refinancing it?
Great question, Mark. So renewal essentially is keeping the mortgage the exact same. Refinance is taking out equity or changing the terms of the mortgage. So on a renewal, all the details are staying the same typically. So the mortgage amount staying the same, the amortization, etc. The only thing you're changing is the rate. All the other details remain the same. There are variations to that, such as when you're transferring lenders, sometimes you can change the amortization, but generally speaking, that's the main difference. When you're doing a refinance, you're essentially getting a new mortgage to pay out the existing mortgage. So that new mortgage can have completely different terms. Typically, when someone's doing a refinance, it's for a higher mortgage amount or to change the amortization. So increasing the mortgage amount maybe from 300,000 to 400,000, so that you have that extra 100,000 to do renovations or pay off debt. Um, and then sometimes people increase the amortization as well, or just increase the amortization. So, for instance, if you're going from a 20-year amortization to a 30-year amortization, it's going to significantly lower your payments and improve your cash flow.
And I want to focus in on the refinancing part just for a second. What does it look like in someone's actual bank account when they do the refinance? Like, do they just get like a big chunk of change into their checkings account? And then what happens to their mortgage? Can you explain, the actual behind the scenes on what someone's going to experience if they do a refinance and like cash out some of that equity?
Yeah, it's a common question we get a lot of the time. So it depends on the structure. So if you have debts that need to be paid off for the mortgage to get approved, like for your debt ratios, that is going to be paid directly by the lawyer out of the funds of the mortgage, and the rest will go into your bank account. So essentially, what's going to happen is, again, let's say the mortgage is 400,000 for the new mortgage, and your existing mortgage is 300,000, and you have $40,000 in debt. So what's going to happen is on the closing date, you're going to have a new mortgage for 400,000. It's going to pay off the existing mortgage of 300,000. It's going to pay off your debts of 40,000 if they're conditioned to be paid, and the other $60,000 is going to go directly in your bank account. There's no restrictions on what you do with it. It doesn't have to be tied to a renovation or an investment or anything like that. Essentially, once it closes, you're going to have this new mortgage in place. Your debts will be paid off by the lawyer if it's required, and you'll have the money sitting in your bank account to do as you wish.
That's pretty amazing. It seems like a really useful tool to kind of manage outstanding debts that you might have accumulated. Do
Mhm.
you see any are there any sort of like surprises that people might have when they are doing things like that? I guess you'll call it like debt consolidation. Is there anything that people should be aware of when they're using a refinance to do that?
Yeah, the timing. So if you're paying off your existing mortgage early, there could be a penalty. And it'd be good to know how much that penalty is, because sometimes if the penalty is significant, it might not make sense to take out the equity. I'd say that's probably one of the biggest things to kind of find out, because a lot of the time, any personal debt that you're going to have is significantly more expensive or higher interest than a mortgage is going to be. So a lot of the times it makes more sense to just roll it into the mortgage in terms of interest rate savings and cash flow. But the biggest potential drawback is how big is the penalty on your existing mortgage. If the end of your term is coming up and you're at the maturity date, that's a great time to look at a refinance or adding a home equity line of credit if you need the funds in the future.
Okay. And if you have any questions for Alex, you can let us know down in the comments on this video. Or also, if you want to use Alex for your mortgage renewal or refinance, you can use the link down below where you can get started with your mortgage with Alex. And of course, subscribe to Alex Lavender on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next video.